This is definitely a soft launch of the book study. I did not want to not go live, but I'm also not at my computer, so I thought I'd go ahead and go live from where I am rather than not show up. My expectation is that there aren't going to be a lot of people that are here. But so I had wanted to just, I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to do this. I wanted to read. Looks like I'm not going to be able to do that. All right. Well, my plan was just to read what I wrote today, which you can go to my Substack, Gadfly Academy Substack. I'm not going to remember everything I wrote, but maybe I can just kind of go through it a little bit. I wanted to give a little bit of context for Paul Kingsnorth's new book, Against the Machine, which we will start in earnest book study of next Thursday at 7:30 p.m. Should be relatively sharp. So the context is that there's this somewhat esoteric tradition, esoteric just in the sense of not many people being aware of it, not really in any other sense, nor is it there's not like a school of thought necessarily. The people that are involved in it are kind of on the fringes often of academia. There's a group called the media ecologists, and many of them are kind of in this tradition, especially people like Neil Postman, his book Technopoly in particular, but also Amusing Ourselves to Death are important books in this tradition. Certainly Ivan Illich, his books, Jacques Ellul, Louis Mumford, Philip Sherrard's book, The Rape of Man and Nature, and so on. But really, what I realized was that since 1992, that's when Technopoly was published, there hasn't been a really seminal kind of key work in this tradition until Paul Kingsnorth's Against the Machine. If you can think of another book that would fit into the tradition between 92 and 2025, please let me know. I think people are able to comment. I don't know if anyone's actually here, but I don't see, let me see what the comments are. Yeah, so I'm not sure that anyone's actually watching at this point, but I'm going to assume that someone is watching, and I'm not seeing comments here on my phone. So if you are commenting, I'm not seeing them, I'm afraid. I will have this set up properly next week when we start. So Against the Machine is really the latest in this tradition of anti-machine literature, for lack of a better term. And in a lot of ways, I think it's, at least in 2025, is the most important book in the tradition, because he's able to stand on the giants of those who came before him, as well as to kind of update the critique of technology in light of what's going on in the world, has gone on. So yeah, that's kind of the context of Against the Machine. If you're interested in learning more about Kingsnorth, his website has a good biography that he wrote on his About page. There's also quite a bit of his writing is there. You can find that there. In particular, I mentioned in my blog post his article, "The Cross and the Machine," which where he recounts the story of his conversion to Orthodox Christianity, which is quite a remarkable story. Well worth reading. He's a wonderful writer, and quite a remarkable story. He, as he puts it himself, he was a very reluctant convert, and he had quite kind of remarkable things that happened to him. So if you haven't already, it's worth tracking down. I think that's mostly what I touched on in my blog post. Just talked about how important this book is. I think for the contemporary world, it's a very important cultural piece of cultural criticism, and I'm excited to read it with you. Next time I will, like I said, I'll be better set up to be able to respond to comments and stuff. That's my anticipation. I'll be in front of a computer instead of on my phone. So please join us. The schedule is on my latest blog post, the last two blog posts actually. October 30th at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we'll begin. We'll be reading, discussing the introduction, and then chapters 1 and 2. So I've broken it down by, it's about 20 or 30 pages, I think, each session, and it's about 300-page book or so. So it'll take us about 2 to 3 months to go through it. Yeah, excited to have you read it, and I'm looking forward to rereading it. I'll be writing a reflections every week on the reading, and I'll publish that to my blog. I'll probably begin each session by reading that. I'll also be releasing it as a video, as has been my schedule that I've had. So if you've already watched the video from Thursday, published at 2:45 Eastern Time, then there will be a bit of a repeat during the live stream, if that makes sense. But that's it. I think that's all I've got. I'm going to see, let's get some sense if anyone has commented. Let me see. Oh, no. Is anyone there? So, my phone is not telling me if there's anyone there, so I'm kind of assuming that there's not. But live chat is on. Anyone is it free to do it? Looks like no one is there. So I had a feeling. My plan was that this was going to be a soft launch, so it is very soft indeed. But at least I was here, and hopefully there'll be more folk next week. So have a good weekend, and we will connect again soon. Take care.